Hi everyone, TJ Hernandez here, and I'm the founder of RosterCoach.com, a classroom-style video-based website that's designed to help you improve your daily fantasy sports game. To give you an idea of what RosterCoach has to offer, here's a preview of the final lesson in one of our recent courses on understanding advanced baseball metrics. If you enjoy this video, please like and share it, and don't forget to leave a comment below.
Hi, this is Sammy Reed for RosterCoach.com. This video is going to focus on contrarian stacking strategy in GPPs. So first off, why play GPPs? Well, aside from the obvious, which is the large prize pools if you end up doing really well, is that these days, in my opinion, the edges in cash games are getting very thin. By cash games, of course, I mean heads-ups, 50-50s, and double-ups. But there's so much good information out there, a lot of different sites, optimizers, projection systems. The edges are getting really thin when you add in a 10 to 15% rake. Now, cash games are all about building optimal lineups, whereas winning GPPs is all about game theory, and I still think there's a ton of edge in GPPs. So when I first started playing MLB DFS, I was 70 to 80% cash games. These days it's flipped and I'm probably 70 to 80% GPPs because that's where the edge lies. So let's talk a little bit about the basics of GPPs. Number one is tend to stack away teams. Obviously stacking is using multiple players from one team. If that team goes off, those players are all going to correlate, drive each other in, and score a lot of points. So what you want to do is tend to focus on stacking away teams. The reason for this is they will always be guaranteed 9 full innings of at-bats. Say you stack a home team and they score 9-10 runs and the stack works, they're going to win that game almost all the time and they're not going to come up in the bottom of the ninth. So by choosing the away team, you get that full 9 innings, and I'm sure we've all been in that situation. At the end of a tournament, you just need 4, 5, 6 more points to really level up another money level, and those extra at-bats can really make a big difference. The other concept that I want to talk about is using contrarian starting pitchers with chalky stacks and vice versa. So the reasoning behind this is that if you use chalky starting pitchers and chalky stacks, you're not going to differentiate enough from the crowd to really have an edge. If you're contrarian all over your lineup and you're taking too many long shots, that's just not optimal enough to consistently cash. So what you want to do is have a really good blend. I'll give you an example from today's slate. The two most chalky pitchers are going to be Max Scherzer and Jeff Samardzija. Scherzer's at home facing a really poor Mets team without Yoenis Cespedes, and Samardzija's at home against the woeful San Diego Padres in a great pitcher's park as a large home favorite. So if I wanted to use this combination of pitchers on DraftKings, I'd want to go with a stack that a lot of other people aren't using. Give you an example, the Colorado Rockies. Now, most people love to stack the Rockies, but they like to do it at Coors Field and almost never consider them away from Coors Field. However, the Rockies do check a lot of boxes for us here. They're an away team. They're at a good ballpark in Chase Field while it's not Coors, still a really good hitter's park, and they're facing Robbie Ray, who has a ton of strikeout potential, but he has poor control and can get into a lot of trouble at times. So what we can do is start stacking this team, heavily right-handed, of course. We can use Mark Reynolds, we can use Trevor Story, we can use Nolan Arenado, and then we might choose to use a left-handed outfielder like Carlos Gonzalez. That leaves us about $2,600 per player. Now, if we already have a couple of guys who we know are really valuable one-offs, like our boy Jeff Decker here, batting leadoff for $2,100, we can start filling in the rest of our spots and still get a lot of value there. Now, obviously on DraftKings, you can use up to 5 hitters together and no more. On FanDuel, you can use up to 4. I'm using DraftKings here, obviously, but the concepts basically hold the same. Now let's go to the flip side. A chalky stack today, a really popular one, is going to be the Arizona Diamondbacks on the other side of that game. They're facing an extraordinarily weak left-hander in Kyle Freeland. So a lot of people are going to be using Paul Goldschmidt, who kills lefties. they're going to be using Chris Owings, who's batting second and having a really nice season. They're going to be using AJ Pollock and Yasmani Tomas. So if we wanted to use this as the basis of our stack, what we'd want to do is go contrarian with our starting pitchers. For example, most people are going to use Max Scherzer because he's the best pitcher on the slate. He's got the most talent, and he's at home against a weak team.